Hi guys, welcome back. This is just a quick video I'm making in response to a comment on the last video of the Mahindra. Just going to explain how the gears work and the four-wheel drive system and the high and low, because this does have about 4 gear shift levers, so I will go through them and explain them and show you the diagram that's on the vehicle. So just check this out. So if I bring your attention to the gear shift levers here, obviously you've got this here, which is clearly marked out the 1 to 4 gears and the reverse gear. And then you have this shift lever here, which is nearest to this gear stick. And this here is your four-wheel drive gear stick to select two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. This smaller gear stick here is to select low gear range and high gear range. So obviously when you're driving day to day, it needs to be kept in the high range. And if you was to be sort of pulling something agricultural or something that you wanted to go very slowly, like a tractor sort of system, then you could put it into the low range gear. This small gear stick here, I believe, is for the PTO, which is underneath the vehicle. I've never actually used that, but I have seen that there is a PTO under the vehicle, so I'm assuming this is what engages it here. So to go through it, I'll show you quickly the plate that comes with this vehicle, which clearly describes. So obviously you've got your transmission here, and then you've got your four-wheel drive system, which is the second stick, like I said. So it says here front axle drive. Now naturally in two-wheel drive this vehicle will be rear-wheel drive. To put it into front axle drive, you'd have to drop it back, so the gear stick would have to come back, and then the front axle drive would be engaged, and that would make it four-wheel drive. And then the gear stick on the right hand side, which is the smaller one, I tend to keep it pulled all the way back, which is the high range. But if you had to use the low range, obviously you'll find a little neutral, and then you push it up to go into low range. What I find is it won't go into low range whilst the vehicle is stationary, but when you're sort of driving and you're in gear and you're ready to put it in, you can sort of lift your clutch a bit and push it into low. I don't know whether that's because something's wearing on mine or something, but I find that it goes from neutral to high, because that's what it's been in all the time. And it'll go into low if you're sort of driving and you're in gear and you wanted to change it. So just to show you again, so basically this gear stick here is the one that you would select for rear wheel drive or front wheel drive. So if we pushed it up, your front wheel drive would be out, so then your vehicle will be driving only on the rear wheels. So that's the gear stick facing forwards towards the engine. If you wanted to use the four-wheel drive system, then obviously you press the clutch and you go back into in, which you can see on there it says in, which has now engaged the front axle, so your vehicle will be driving four-wheel drive. I tend to keep it in rear-wheel drive because I don't really do anything off-road. It's just normally on the road, so fuel-wise and things like that. And this gear stick here is currently in high range, which is what I like to keep it in. That's the neutral, and then there is a low range up here, which, like I said, it only for me only works when the car is running and sort of on the clutch and in gear, and then you can sort of wiggle it into the low range. So that's in high range, and the top one here we keep it on out, which is, so it's on two-wheel drive only. But if you want to drive in four-wheel drive, push that back, you're in high range. You're in high range there, you're in four-wheel drive there, and then obviously you've got your gear stick lever there. If you want to go low range, oh there it is now, look, it's selected low range now, but you can see there now. So that's your neutral and that's your high. You see there's your neutral and there's your low range. So it does it sometimes. There's your neutral, as you can see there, it shows there's a low, a neutral and high. So now we've got that into the neutral. There's your low, neutral, and there's your high. And then you've got this, which is now in two-wheel drive, out, and then down there is four-wheel drive. So up there is two-wheel drive, and down there is four-wheel drive. And then this here is your gear stick, which is normal, and then this here is for your PTU, which is under the vehicle if you had to attach any of the machinery to it. But I'll show you this plate as well, which came off my cj540, which I've kept in this, a bit more clearer. So forward is 2-wheel drive and backwards is 4-wheel drive. Pretty much the same thing, but on here it says out and in, and on here it says 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. So easiest thing to remember, this middle gear stick up there is 2-wheel drive, down here is 4-wheel drive. I like to keep it in 2-wheel drive, so I'll leave it there and keep that in high, keep that in neutral, and keep that off. And that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to show you. Hope you enjoyed that, and it's explained to you how the gearing system works. For any more questions, just drop them in the comments below and we'll do what we can to help. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe, guys. Thank you very much. See you again soon.